The key issues with livestock production in the UK, as I see it, are high reliance and use of imported soya as a source of protein for our livestock. And this high reliance which we do have, the very high utilisation that we have of cereals, that is the major source of energy, and it's a major source of protein for pigs and poultry. And the problem is, because it is a cereal, it could obviously potentially be used as a human food anyway. So there is an inbuilt inefficiency perhaps in feeding it to livestock. But a growing challenge is the potential to use those cereals for biofuel production. If the wheat is going to be diverted into biofuel production, clearly it's not going to be available to the livestock. And what we might then feed them instead, especially for the pigs and the poultry, is a challenge. We have done quite a lot of work in determining the residue from that biofuel production, how you can feed that to pigs and to poultry. Its equivalent in the brewery and the distillery industry has been used in ruminant feeding for some time, but it's a high fibre feed which is challenging and difficult to feed to pigs and poultry. On that high fibre front, there is interest, there is a challenge and an opportunity for developing the use of fibrous feeds in poultry diets. There's a number of things which we would need to address in order to be able to do that. We would need to selectively breed birds who were better able to cope with that kind of high fibre diet. But although in the short term we might benefit, we might be able to use our cereals for biofuel production, that would be great. We can meet some of our requirements to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. Everything there could look good, and we can feed the residue to farm animals. But certainly as far as the poultry are concerned, in doing that we are going to be moving away from a bird that we have now got who can use actually relatively little feed in order to produce a food which is in high demand by us, to a bird that is going to take a lot longer to produce, actually use a lot more resources in order to be able to produce it, because it's unlikely to be able to ever do it as efficiently as it currently does now. And so in the longer term we could end up with a higher environmental impact from poultry production and a reduced food security, because we have to use so much more feed in order to be able to produce this bird because of the changes which we have made to its diet. Most of our pigs and poultry will get most of their protein from the cereal that we feed them, but they still need a supplement to that protein. They still need some higher quality protein. You cannot feed a pig and a chicken on cereal alone. Some of the feeds which we've used in the past, obviously we no longer can because of food safety concerns. We can't use meat and bone meal in livestock feeds now, and we don't any longer feed food waste and swill, for example, to pigs. All introduced for food safety reasons, perhaps justifiably so. But our attempts to find something that can replace and reduce our use of soya has by and large not as yet succeeded. We can grow legumes, but the legume, in terms of kilograms per hectare, you get a lot more protein per hectare from a cereal than you actually do from a legume. We can't find either a legume or an oilseed which can produce the amount of protein without any of the nutritional problems associated with feeding some of the legumes and some of the oilseeds. They all tend to have anti-nutritive factors, things which reduce the digestibility of the feed to the animal, things which will harm the animal while providing it with the protein. And trying to find that feed that will meet the challenge of supplying the animal with the protein that it needs is an issue that we do continue to wrestle with.